Let's go. You already know it's the Cowboys Cast, baby. Hey, we're back. It's been a crazy Sunday this Sunday. A lot of, I don't know, I would say contenders might have lost maybe. We'll see. But, hey, this is the Cowboys Cast. We're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I got a couple of friends on board, man. Obviously, as always, we got Jerry. Well, Ali, this has been a crazy Sunday. I know this is the Cowboys Cast, man, but what's been interesting so far for Sunday for any of y'all?
All these close games to the end, man. All of them they've all been nail biters all the way to the end. So it's been. I mean, for one, it's been very, very entertaining. Number two, I mean, the ones that we have maybe in our parlays. We missed it by one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Ali.
Yeah, no, it's been a crazy one. I mean, we don't have a winless team anymore. Jacksonville got their first win, and talk about the Giants. We just saw them block that field goal, and they won it against Seattle. And about the Ravens too. I mean, they're on the come up after that 0-2 start. No, it's been a crazy Sunday, and it's been a lot of fun.
I think the shocking ones for me is, and a lot of people are probably going to hate it, but the 49ers, is that 3 losses?
Correct. Drops them to 2-3.
Oh. So the only question I got, right? I don't want to start anything on online or anything like that, but Brock Purdy without some of these playmakers, man. He ain't doing Brock Purdy things without those guys. I'm just saying it's kind of tough when you don't got something going on. But anyways, so I'm gonna go over the inactives real quick. We got Russell Wilson, Roman Wilson, Jalen Warren, Alex Highsmith, Max Sharpening, and McCole Pruitt, Cordell Patterson for the Steelers. If I say something wrong, y'all let me know. Cowboys, we got Deuce Vaughn, which is interesting, inactives. We got Micah Parsons as expected. Kellen Carson again, that's 2 weeks. KJ Henry, Matt Waletzko, John Stevens Jr., and Trey Lance obviously is the emergency quarterback. Any telltale signs with that, guys, as far as the inactives? Kind of surprising.
Yeah, I think running the ball is going to be non-existent tonight. I mean, if the Steelers are missing Cordell Patterson, I mean, half their backfield pretty much out, Patterson and Warren. Cowboys can't even run the ball alone. So I think that's troubling for both teams in their ground game. So it might really, force these two offenses to try and win it through the air. But Steelers do have Justin Fields. He can obviously do a lot on the ground, second behind Lamar Jackson rushing yards. But I think Kalen Carson being out is another big loss for the Cowboys because that means more Andrew Booth Jr. And I don't think Cowboys fans want to see Andrew Booth out there, respectively.
Jerry?
I think that's pretty good, Ali. I mean, I mean, we've seen some worse play, I think, from other players too in the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, most definitely. I mean, I think that, like you said, it's especially important for a rookie to get their playing time. I mean, I think that's kind of like what happened with Deron Bland as he played the season. He just continued to get better and better. So yeah, obviously with that, I want to say Deuce Vaughn was active last week though.
He was active last week.
So why is he inactive this week?
I have no idea.
I mean, you know how these teams do. They got to make room sometimes, and we'll see today.
Ultra Cowboy, thank you for coming on in. He says Cowboys are bun juice. What? Wait, Ultra Cowboy, man.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
Come on, bro. He says if the 49ers don't make the playoffs, everyone getting fired. Ooh.
I'm not sure on that one.
I don't know, man. I'm telling you what, though. I don't know. I've got to look at the Niners. But doesn't the Niners have one of the hardest schedules as well, though? I want to say. I don't know. But we'll see. So biggest thing on this game, right? Obviously, Justin Fields, the Cowboys have problems with running quarterbacks, man. So to me, the biggest thing is we're missing Lawrence. We're missing Parsons. Right now, Carlson. And then we find out that Brooks is on IR. So to me, man, do you think that's going to play a vital role, and anybody can take it first as far as going forward? Or I think is it time, and I think me and Jerry have had this conversation before. When do we see these younger guys play more? You know what I mean? We draft all these players, but they don't play as much. So what do you think going forward as far as all these players are out? Is it gonna? Do you think it's a good thing? You think it's a bad thing? I'll start with you, Ali.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bad thing because obviously you're missing that starting talent that you want out there, especially in these critical games. But it's also a good thing because you mentioned like DeMarcus Lawrence obviously being out anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. So this is a chance for you to see what Marshawn Nealon can do. You drafted him in the second round. So a second round pick is not brought in to just really be a depth guy. You want a second rounder to be a starter. And so you're going to find out, real quickly these next coming weeks, a guy like him, is he capable of, playing at a starting level and taking over for obviously one of the most important defensive players on this team. So I kind of look at it from both angles, and we'll see how this one plays out tonight. But overall, like, you are relying on a lot of young guys, having to step up to. If we actually jumped over quickly on the offensive end, Brandon Cooks is unavailable as well tonight with that knee infection. So we're going to see Jalen Tolbert and Cavante Turpin and Ryan Flanoy, these guys, young receivers that are forced to step up. So I think it's great for these guys because it's an opportunity in a critical moment to show that, hey, we can make an impact as well. And that, all right, if this guy goes down, don't be nervous, don't sweat it, because we have, options A, B, and C ready to go as well.
Well said, Ali. I mean, like you said, Michael Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, they're out. We're having a hard time stopping the run. I think that's what DeMarcus Lawrence made his money on, was being solid against the actual run. I mean, I know we all had that hopes and anticipation that Nealon could be that future DeMarcus Lawrence for the next 10 years. And so it's one of those things where, like you said, he's gonna get a little bit more time in. We'll see if he can hold it down. I know we also have Golson and like you said, Clarkson. So we'll see about that. I know the one thing that's been really getting going, especially like on X, is Ryan Flornay, right? I mean, everybody wants to see him. They want to see him get some time, and they're expecting big things for him. And so it's one of those things where, okay, well, look at what we've been having to deal with Brandon Cooks, Jalen Tolbert, Cavante Turpin. I mean, let's see what Fournier did. Fournier had a great preseason, and he played bigger than and where he was drafted, right? So obviously, we'll see. I think this is going to be a great game to see the younger Cowboys get some playing time and repetitions in for the season.
Oh, we got Ultra Cowboy. He says Overshown is a soul snatcher. Hey, man, I'm kind of glad that he had that 1 year off just because he could get a little bit bigger. In my opinion, I think that makes a world of difference for him. But he hasn't slowed down. It looks like. Ultra Cowboy says this is soft rebuild. Cowboys are ranked third in rookie snaps. So I'm actually gonna touch on that. I have a question for you guys about that. We'll come back to it. Nealon was drafted to replace Tank in 2025. Do y'all believe that? And I'll start with Jerry. Jerry, do you think that's a possibility, or that's one of the reasons they did it?
I think that's exactly why they did it. I mean, you look at it. I mean, you can even say the same thing for Zach Martin. I mean, are we really sure that they're going to be Cowboys next year? I mean, they both came in, right? Martin and Lawrence at the same time. So, oddly enough, now we have Cowboys offensive line and Nealon coming in at the same time. So we'll see if they can have that kind of growth with the Dallas Cowboys and become solid players.
Ali, same question to you.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree as well. I think if you were kind of looking at the two that Jerry just mentioned, I think Nealon obviously is the guy that they hope can replace Lawrence. Obviously, cap implications as well, considering you just paid a couple of guys, big contracts, some other guys coming up as well. So you're hoping that, maybe Nealon, that cheaper, younger option, can step in and help them in that situation. Zach Martin, obviously, being, up there in age too. I mean, kind of hitting that both guys kind of hitting the beginning of that back nine of their career. So, but, as long as Zach Martin's healthy and playing, Hall of Fame football like he's always been. But, I definitely think they're starting to kind of look in that direction of, hey, some of these younger guys stepping up and ready to take over for some of these older guys. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes.
So, obviously, I I 100% agree with you guys. I think that is true. Nealon is the replacement for Tank. Unfortunately, that's just kind of how it's going. But we also have, I think Jerry Jones was on the radio. I don't know if it was 105 The Fan or there was some radio station he was on, and he agreed with the soft rebuild, man.
It was
Now,
a KNC masterpiece on one. It's on 105.3 The Fan. You can watch it on YouTube.
So my thing is, do y'all really believe this is I guess the question is, what is the definition of a soft rebuild if you're actually doing a soft rebuild? If that even exists to me, I've never heard of that until now, because to me, a rebuild is a rebuild. There's no, you don't put adjectives to it. It's either not or it is. So I'll go with you first, Ali.
Yeah, I kind of look at it like if you guys go back a couple years ago when the Chiefs traded Tyreek Hill, I think that is kind of not a rebuild, more of a reset. Like, all right, this guy's contract's coming up. We just paid Mahomes, Chris Jones, all this money. Let's get some draft picks. Let's get some capital while he's still in his prime. It could maybe be that direction where you make a move or two that could kind of hit a reset in certain areas of your team. Because I think of rebuild, I think of like, hey, you're tearing it down. You're building it back up.
Yep.
Like the New England Patriots, that's a team, despite them being 1-4 now, I think everyone knows they're clearly in a rebuild stage. They just drafted a young quarterback. They got to put the pieces around him. So I think more so in a soft rebuild, you're looking to replace a couple options at some key positions that can kind of flip it around without having to tear it down. Because again, you just paid Dak Prescott all that money. You're not trying to tear it down and rebuild around Dak. This is a guy that's in his 30s now, not a rookie anymore.
I mean, like you said, right, Ali? I think if anything, like you said, you got some superstars right now on this team that are still still they're really young. I mean, I think they're 25, maybe.
Yeah.
So
They're a young nucleus for sure.
Yeah, so and especially the way Lamb and Micah play, the way Parsons and Lamb play on the field, they play like, I mean, they are absolute dogs at their positions, and it's just one of those things that it just makes the rest of the team better. So I just think, if anything, we did see what we are capable of last season, and I think that's kind of that nucleus is still there on both sides. So I think that's why you go with that term, soft rebuild. But I mean, it is what it is. I think that the Cowboys were leading the NFL right in starting rookies in a season. So it's one of those things. A lot of teams don't have that privilege because, a lot of these teams, they know what they're doing, right? They're planting the seed for the future and for the now. I think with the Cowboys, they always are going with best player available and who's going to give me more bang for my buck.
So Ultra Cowboy says, in 21, if D-Law does not get hurt, we never know Micah the pass rusher. In 23, if Diggs does not get hurt, we never know outside cornerback Bland. I believe this year it will be Marshawn Lee. I mean, that's a good point he did put. I'm not going to read that, but all right. He said Nealon is a great run defender. I 100% agree with you. Daily reminder, it's year 3 and oh my God. All right, I think that's going out to, what do you think, Jerry?
I mean,
I have to say this. I will say this before you say something. I kind of agreed in the beginning, but now I have to say that I think he is a really great wide receiver. I just don't think he's gotten the opportunities that he should. And I'll leave it to you, Jerry.
I mean, I think you hit it right there. I mean, there's really no dynamic. I mean, I've seen multiple YouTube content creators break down the actual offense. I think, hey, shout out to Jay Tuck real quick, breaking down exactly the Cowboys passing patterns, and it's like, okay, there's no creativity in this. It's literally like if somebody's playing Madden and just saying, your X, your Y, your Z, or whatever. So it is what it is, and I think with Jalen Tolbert, I mean, we saw what he could do in college. He was a monster in college, and for whatever reason, I think that it's the scheme, the offensive scheme has not really given him that ability. What do you think, Ali?
Yeah, no, and I 100% agree there too. And I think now you look at it like this is probably the best opportunity he's being presented with right now, because I think we're looking at him to be that guy to really step up because they invested such a high draft pick in him. Like when you're a 3rd round pick, you're going to get multiple opportunities in this league, and so whether this doesn't work out or not, Jalen Tolbert will find a home somewhere else, but you want it to work out right now because, you're calling on him to step up. I believe it was week 2 against the Saints. He led the team in targets. It was either the Saints or the Ravens. He actually had more targets than any other receiver. So that says a lot. They're trying to get him involved, more in this offense. And so that's what you want to see. And I think tonight, if he, shows up and, can make a couple big plays for this team, that'll gradually build him some momentum going into the coming weeks, depending how long Brandon Cooks is out, which could be anywhere from the next month or so.
So going off of those two things, right? Ultra Cowboy now says Lamb, Egbuka, Fournette in 2025. So if most of y'all don't know who Egbuka is, he's a wide receiver for the Ohio State Buckeyes. So that's basically he's saying that's Tolbert's replacement, technically. Hoodlum, what's up, Hoodlum? Let's give him a round of applause, man. Yo, this team I can't say that. Y'all ain't no hope this year. Come on, man. Why is there so much negativity? There's so much negativity. Ultra Cowboy says Bastard Nathan Thomas is the Martin 2025 replacement. Hoodlum says we ain't got no hope. Help is not on the way. I mean, speaking with Jerry, right? I don't want to get too much into it. The game starts here in like 23 minutes, but real quick synopsis on you guys. They said that they're not going to do anything. Is that a smart thing, or what do you think, Ali? I'll let you hit first. As far as help is not on the way. Speaking of Jerry's not going to make any trades or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that's one to look at within the next couple of weeks, because by the end of this month, if you're 2-5, you ask yourself, are there going to be some fire sale changes? Do we move on from a couple pieces, kind of look ahead to next season, because that November schedule too features some tough teams as well. So you're hoping it doesn't come down to that. You're hoping they can, catch heat at the right time. We've never really seen Jerry Jones being that type of guy to make those moves. I mean, if I recall Amari Cooper back in 2018, or the Cowboys going to make that type of a splashing move to get a guy that can potentially, I mean, they do need that help at wide receiver. I know Stephen Jones kind of ruled out on the whole Devontae Adams thing. We've seen the reports about Cooper, so just kind of using that as a bit of an example right there. But I don't see them making those moves. I kind of see that, hey, if this season is lost, a big reason why he wouldn't is because you are possibly staring at the fact of a new head coach coming in. So you might just say, hey, big changes are coming after the season, so why make those changes now when we can kind of wait till after then? But in the meantime, I know those injuries don't help, and that puts McCarthy and his guys in a tough spot. You're kind of banking on these younger guys to step up even more. So I think Jerry Jones is kind of showing more faith in the fact that these young guys can step up, then let me go out there and get this guy to kind of please the fan base.
Jerry, what do you think?
No
help, man. No help on the way.
I mean, no, I don't foresee it. I think the Cowboys have a clear plan beyond 2024. I think we're gonna have to go through these growing pains, and I think we're gonna try to see if that 2025 plan and beyond lays out perfectly for the Cowboys.
Yep, I agree, man. Ultra Cowboy says the Cowboys will get their number 2 wide receiver and running back in the draft. We'll see. Hoodlum says we gotta stop thinking that Jerry will do the obvious. That's not the case. This organization is about to money and marketing. We just have to accept it. If they were all in the draft, trade Benson over Nealon. I don't know about that one. I guess we have to see it play out. Cowboys have 4 All-Pros and a Pro Bowl tight end coming up for contracts. And Ryan Florinet is better than Jalen Tolbert. Yeah, I guess we'll have to see. I don't know about that one. We'll see. Cowboys YouTubers breaking down film is like J-Lo giving Mariah. Oh my God, man.
Marriage counseling.
Yeah. I'm like, Ultra Cowboy. Yeah, I know who he is, man. Keep the picks. Yeah, they want to keep the picks. And we get top 10 pick. I'm getting some. Okay. I'm just, hey, at Ali, stop with the BS. This team is, the organization is delusional. What do you think about that one, Ali?
Hey, I mean, I'm spitting the most honest take I can make right there, that he's not a guy that makes those moves. Again,
which is agreeable. For whatever reason, they really love their draft picks, man.
Do. The Cowboys have always been known to be a draft first organization, and that's how they're always going to operate. Yeah,
it's true. Soft rebuild means McCarthy is back. He is our Tomlin.
Okay. Our Tomlin.
Ooh. People are mad today. Jones doesn't care about no fan base. Okay, so we kind of got all that stuff out of the way. Let's talk about these Pittsburgh Steelers, man. I guess we can go over number one. I'll say, what do y'all think are the keys on offense? What do you want to see compared to last week, which we played the Giants? We didn't look very good at in offense at all, man. It was kind of stagnant. It didn't seem like there was, any thinking to the game plan at all. It's just kind of generic. It felt like. So what you want to see on offense? We'll start off with you, Ali.
Yeah, I definitely want to see more big explosive plays. Like we did see that, of course, with CeeDee Lamb against the Giants. I think if you get those big plays, that'll really help as well against this defense. I don't want to say run the ball because I'm not getting my hopes up on this team being able to run the football. And the Steelers have one of the top really good run defense. You would love to see that momentum on the ground. But I really want to see Jake Ferguson too, getting those opportunities as well. I mean, he's back. He's healthy. Obviously, we had him back against the Giants. And so just a good threat there over the middle of the field. But above all, big thing is you want to see these young receivers step up. If these young guys can step up, these young pass catchers, that'll definitely give the Cowboys, I think, a better fighting chance there offensively. And I think biggest thing, your offensive line, obviously, you're getting tested as well, this pass rush. And as we've talked about in the past, how Derrick Henry punched the Cowboys in the face and was a slap in the face of Jerry Jones, the guy that they passed up in the 2017 draft, TJ Watt, is half a sack away from joining the 100 sack club. And I just find it funny that could happen against the Dallas Cowboys. So you're kind of hoping Terrence Steele and Tyler Guyton can prevent him from doing that.
I was so mad because I thought we were going to draft him and we picked Taco
Charlton, who is playing in the UFL now. So.
But
he has a Super Bowl ring too.
That's true.
Oh, he does, right? Yeah, you're right. Man, this is like a double whammy, man. But anyways, Jerry, what do you think are the keys to this offense, or what do you want to see from the Cowboys offense, considering what they did last week against the Giants?
I mean, I think it's one of those things where I think if the Cowboys can just pick up the right momentum, I think they can come back late in the fourth and the third and fourth, and their passing game starts to kind of pick up. I mean, I understand the Cowboys are dead last in the NFL in rushing yards, so there's no way to hide that. I mean, it's I believe, let me see, it's 309 rushing yards, I think, total. Right now you have the Steelers and they are 18th in the NFL with 514. They have 138 attempts at 3.7 yards a carry. Cowboys actually have 85 attempts and they're averaging 3.5 yards a carry. As far as passing wise, Cowboys are 14th in the NFL and Steelers are 26th in the NFL. So I think if anything, if the Cowboys can just pick up the right momentum, especially in the latter half. I believe the Steelers are favored at 2.5 in this game.
2.5, yeah.
So I think, like I said, the way for the Cowboys to win this game is obviously in the passing attack, unfortunately, because we have no rushing attack. That's what we're looking at.
So we got Ramiro here. He says, "Ooh, just got done officiating, getting beer, and listening to the Cowboys Cast."
Oh,
that deserves a round of applause, man. We appreciate you, Ram. Thank you so much for tuning in, man. Man, Ultra Cowboys, he's text happy today. He says the Giants held the Seahawks offense at 13 points with DK, Lockett, and JSN. That's interesting. That's an interesting take. 13 points.
That is interesting. And the Steelers, they typically win games 13-10. So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So Dexter Lawrence had 3 sacks versus Seahawks, and BB shut him down. Woo. Cowboys, 2 rookie O-line playing a new position for the first time. They will get better. That's for sure. All right. So let's talk about defense, right? So what do the Cowboys have to do to try and stop this offense? Which I kind of looked at the Pittsburgh Steelers, that it's not something very special or something you can say, man, we got to stop the pass or we got to stop the run because they're so dynamic. It's just kind of like they just find ways to win, whatever it takes, kind of philosophy, right? It's kind of like the Mike Tomlin philosophy. But Jerry, I'll go with you first. What do you think our defense has to do? Kind of keys to the game to try to stop this offense.
I mean, number one, Number one, well, let's just say what's really there. The Steelers are, I believe, top 5. I was asking if they're second, but I think they're what, fourth in the NFL. Their defense overall. So, I mean that's what's coming to us. I think with the Cowboys, with the thing is we haven't been able to stop the run. We did have a little bit of success with the Giants. I think we held them to what, 26 yards. But when you look at the average attempts, the Giants were averaging 3.4 yards in a attempt, and obviously, like I said, the Steelers are averaging 3.7 yards a attempt. So should be, I think it's one of those things. It should be relatively one of those things where it's possible where the Cowboys can repeat and stop that run, especially with it just being, I think, Najee Harris. I believe it's just Najee Harris, right? That's healthy. So I think that's what the defense needs to do, and like you said, get these reps in for these players, Nealon and to see who could be your depth from Micah Parsons.
Ali?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, stopping the run is number one. They did it against the Giants. You're hoping they can take that bit of momentum they had against New York, stopping the run, and bring it over here as well against the Steelers. So they can do that. Force Justin Fields to try and win this game with his arm. But also, you're a little thin there in the secondary, and as we mentioned, you're gonna have to rely on some more backups to really step up. And obviously, not having Carson is certainly a big loss for this team. We'll probably see Trayvon Diggs with George Pickens. Should be a fun matchup to watch there. But just wanting to see some of these guys really step up in the positions they got to step up in. Get after the quarterback. You're looking at Carl Lawson and you're looking at Marshawn Nealand. Obviously, the guy that I'm really highlighting to really take over is DeMarvin Overshown, and really hoping that he can kind of replicate that similar performance against, because I really think if he doesn't make that tackle against Wan'Dale Robinson, Cowboys don't win this game, against the Giants. I mean,
that is true.
Wan'Dale was closing in on the end zone. Overshown being the guy that they can play in open space, makes that key tackle. It's plays like that, and so biggest thing is, yes, forcing Justin Fields to try and win this game through the air and being able to stop the run. And I think if they do that, they can definitely get this one done. But obviously, you're going to a bit of a hostile environment there too. Pittsburgh's never an easy place to play.
No, it's not, man. So look, I've been scrolling to X and to Facebook and all that, and there's just like a lot of people are just kind of, man, they're like, what team is going to show up, right? But for me, I got to say, after you guys talking about the offense and defense, I got to think of one player, man. And I have to admit to this, is Dak Prescott. Like everything, it almost feels like everything's falling around you, falling apart, however you want to put it. But I think Dak just has to, weather the storm and will, I guess they say, will this team to a victory, man. I think that's what it comes down to. You can call the plays you want, the schemes and everything. I think Dak has to hold strong and say, you know what, I'm going to will this team to win this damn game, man. And at the end of the day, he's the guy. If you pay him $60 million, that's the type of dude that you have to have in the huddle and will this team to win. And hopefully he does that today. But let's go through any predictions. You guys have any predictions?
I mean,
what point wise, what do you think the score will be? You think it's going to be low scoring, high scoring?
I want to say Cowboys 27-17.
Ooh, 27-17?
Yeah, and I think it's going to be very similar to the Giants, where it just becomes, like you said, a battle of the quarterbacks. And I think I'm going to take Dak over Justin Fields in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely is a battle of a quarterback type game. Kind of look at this matchup. I'm going to go a little low. I'm going to go like 20-17 be in the final. I think they keep it close with that defense, but I think Dak and CeeDee Lamb will deliver some big plays there that can really help them out.
So y'all think it's going to be a defensive battle, huh?
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to have to go the same way. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's actually going to be 27-24 Cowboys. I think they do pull it off. It's probably not going to look good early on. It's probably going to look like an ugly game, but I think the Dallas Cowboys will pull it off. And just real quick, the over-under is 43 points. So we're talking about 20, 21, 20, whatever kind of game. So Vegas is usually always right for the most part.
You're right. You're right on that.
So, but yeah, like I said, 27-24, I think that's the game. I think the Cowboys do pull away with one. And I think, like everybody said, and you guys said, I think Ali, before we came on here, this is a big game. Every game is big, right? But they need this game because it's going to be a gauntlet coming through these next couple of weeks. I think we play Detroit, and then we go into a bye, and then we got Niners, I think, Texans, Falcons, all in a row, man. So it's going to be fascinating. Falcons, I believe, too. It's going to be a crazy, right? So we got our predictions. Any last words you guys have? I'll start with Ali. You got anything last words about the game or what you think should or can happen?
Yeah, no, I think one other thing to touch on, one final note to touch on is just limit the penalties. They had 11 against the Giants. That's actually the second time this year they've had 11 penalties in a game. So, hey, those false starts, those pre-snap penalties, they will kill your play call. Those holding calls. I mean, it's in a game like this, you got to be disciplined on the field, and so you're hoping that they have that under control tonight.
I mean, come on, Cowboys! Mike McCarthy, Zimmer, I need you guys to just step it up. I mean, put our players in the best position. I mean, look at these damn Vikings. I mean, they're what, 5-0, and
homecoming from McCarthy too. Let's not forget he was born and raised there in Pittsburgh, so he's trying to get a win against them.
That is true.
He's 0-4 all time against them. So
yeah, right. I just say go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. All right, man. Look, we appreciate you. Hey, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification. Ali, where can they follow you at?
As always, go on Twitter. You can see my Twitter handle right there at AliJawad024. Check out our content on the Cowboys Sports Illustrated channel. We actually just moved up to the third most viewed channel, NFL channel on SI after the month of September. So
okay, Ali. All right.
Definitely appreciate the support, and check out our content, and we'll be posting throughout the night.
That's awesome. Well, as always, man, this is the Cowboys Cast. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining in. Again, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. As always, guys, thank you for staying on. Hey, as we say, man, go Cowboys, DC for life.